Hello folks and welcome back to another video. In this week's video we are doing a Q&A. I have not done one of these in years, man. So I gave you the opportunity on Instagram to send your questions in, so we're going to answer them in this video. Make sure to follow my Instagram, it'll be here or something. That's where you'll get the opportunity to ask questions if I do a video like this again, or there's loads of posts and stuff on there as well. So give that a follow. So let's get right into the first question. The first one comes from Matt Douglas and he asks, what is your dream car? My dream car, oh that's shining right in my eye. My dream car is probably a Mark II Escort RS 2000 in the lime green colour. I can't remember what the colour is called, but a lime green one, RS 2000, or just a Mark II Escort in general. Or a Ford Escort RS Cosworth, that would be the dreams, or a Sierra Cosworth, just old Fords, that is the one. I genuinely have something like that before I got a big fancy supercar or that, so aye, that is the dreams. Next one comes in from Adam Greer and he asks, how do you think of new video ideas? The way I think of new video ideas is whatever comes to the top of my head that's car related. I genuinely just think of YouTube videos all the time, but I literally just think whatever is coming to my mind, or whatever I'm doing at the weekend that's car related, going to car shows, doing stuff to my car, going to the racing. That's the reason I started doing the stock car racing videos, is because we were going to the racing anyways, so why not film it as well and then document it and we can remember it forever. So that's basically how they come to my head. Either think of them, or it's all stuff that I'm already doing and I just decide to pick up the camera. So the next question comes in from my mate Harvey Snedden and he asks, how long have you had the Ford Escort? So basically the story is, long story short anyway, is that me and my dad were looking at an eBay auction for the Ford Escort. He ended up winning it. So we travelled down to Mansfield, England in December 2020, ended up picking it up with the van and trailer, bringing it all the way back up to Scotland, and we've had it ever since. So that's how long I've had the Escort. Next question from XMZW, they ask, would you agree that vents that don't vent are useless? I'm going to have to agree with that. Some of them look cool on cars, but if they don't vent, they are useless, but they do look cool on some cars. So that's that one. We've got another one from Harvey. He's asking, who's your favourite stock car driver and why? So I'm going to have to say my dad, obviously, because he's my dad. But outside the hour formula, I'm going to have to say Gordon Moody. He's absolutely unreal at racing. The amount of championships he's won, races he's won, and the other formulas that he's raced as well, he's done really well in. It feels like a lot of people are against him in the stock car racing world, but he just manages to keep winning and keep doing brilliant. Now we've got another one from Adam and he asks, what made you want to start YouTube? And this goes way back years ago, like almost 10 years ago now. So when I was in primary 7, which is your last year of primary school for the people that aren't from Scotland. So when I was in that year of school, my neighbours who are my friends and the same age as me, their mum and dad let them have a YouTube channel. And I wanted one so bad, but they were posting videos and that, doing little challenges and stuff back in the day. And later on, my mum finally let me have a YouTube channel. So I just started doing videos with them and that's how it started, and it's been the same ever since. So it's been my dream since primary school to be a YouTuber. So that goes back about 8 or 9 years ago now, which is absolutely crazy. Next question, Loris asks, if Retros and Rust goes well, will you be hosting more car shows in the future? Now, to answer this question, why don't we go to the venue where Retros and Rust is going to be held? Now at the venue for Retros and Rust 2024. So to answer your question, mate, I would love to do more car shows. If this one goes well, I would love to make it an annual thing. Maybe even do a different venue if this one's successful. But for right now, I can't wait for this one to happen. So if you don't know already, I'm hosting my own retro car show here on the 8th of September 2024. 12 till 3 PM. So make sure to get along on the day if you've got a retro car or you just want to come and see some cool cars. But aye, on to the next question. So the next question comes in from Chris Dewar and he asks, what build primer, base coat and clear coat did you use to paint the Escort? So to prime the Escort, I used Spectral's high build primer. I used the P3 shade, which is basically a grey colour, so that's what's under the paint. Base coat that I used is Maxmare Solvent base coat and the colour is called Bahama Blue. And the clear coat that I used is Spectral's Clar 565, so it's a big 5 litre tin. I used that on this car and it looks pretty shiny to me, so aye, that's what was used on the car. The next question comes in from Steve and he asks, other than rust, what else should you look out for when buying one of these old girls? So apart from the rust, I don't think they're too bad. I've had to change the gasket on the rocker cover in this, but that's really been about it, so not too bad at all for a 30 odd year old car. But going back to the rust, there is a few specific points where they go really bad. So one being the rear arches where mine's went bad. You can get the rear subframe rotten, above the rear axle on the floor, like the boot floor area, that can go really bad, and the battery tray and the engine bay, they can go really bad as well. And the next question is from Lee, and he asks, is it hard to get parts for these with it being an older car? And yes, they are pretty hard to get parts for. Now, my Nissan Micra over there, easy to get parts for, there's loads of stuff online and that, but when you seem to type up parts for this, you can only find a select few. I had to put a new front wing on the Escort on the other side for when I was restoring it, and even then I couldn't get a genuine wing, they don't make them anymore, so I had to go with a company that makes them down south. But with me not having to do much work on the engine, it's not been too bad, and I've not had to go deep searching for any parts just yet. And a third question from Harvey, and he asked, how long did the Escort take from start to finish? Now, I'd say about 6 months it took for me to take the Escort from what it was to how it looks now. I started stripping down the car and stuff about September 2023, and now we're at this point now, but it will never be finished. There's always going to be bits to do to it or stuff that I want to upgrade on it. So about 6 months for the main restoration. And now the last question in the video. How did you get into stock car racing? So it started when my dad would take me to the stock car racing over the years when I was younger. And eventually in 2016 I actually had my first race in the Micra F2s. I got too old to race the Micra F2s and stopped racing for a while after that. Then in 2019, me and my dad were just spectators watching at Cowdenbeath Racewell, and we heard about a formula called the Pro Stock Basics. So with that, my dad ended up building a car. We took an abandoned Peugeot 206 and made it into a stock car. Took it to our first meeting, ran into a few issues with the car getting through scrutineering, took it back to the next meeting, passed scrutineering, and my dad went out for his first ever race. And then a few years later I joined him with my Ford car, and now we've had plenty of cars since then. More Ford cars, Ford Fiestas, newer Ford Fiestas, and plenty more stuff. So that's how we got into stock car racing. So unfortunately that does bring us to the end of this week's video, but it was something a bit different. I've not done a Q&A in years and I actually enjoyed making it as well. But I hope you enjoyed as well. So please like this video, comment down below and subscribe to the channel if you're new or you're watching my videos and you're not subscribed. I'll see you guys in the next one.